Our offensive line coach has just helped us flip a major recruit from an ACC school. He's an Ohio kid. He's coming to the Ohio State, and we got to break it all down. What's up, guys? I'm Matt Long. Welcome to Columbus Football 365. If you're an Ohio State football fan, please hit that subscribe button. But let's get right into the news for today. The man of the hour, 3-star offensive lineman Landry Brede from Mentor, Ohio, has committed to the Buckeyes, flipping from NC State of the ACC over to the Ohio State from the Big Ten. First recruited by, I saw it first in 24/7 Sports, but what we got from the man himself, he said, "I have grown up in Ohio my whole life and watched Ohio State since I was little. I've been interested in Ohio State for a long time. Ohio State has a lot of great things. Could not have said it better myself." Coming from 24/7 Sports, the Buckeyes have wanted 5 offensive linemen in their 2026 recruiting class. For months, they have had offensive line commits from 2 Ohioans, Sam Greer and Maxwell Riley, 2 Arizonians, Tucker Smith and Aaron Thomas. Brede becomes the 3rd Ohio offensive lineman in the Buckeyes 2026 recruiting class and the 5th overall. Those 5 are a group of 2 pure offensive tackles in Greer and Thomas, an interior lineman in Smith, and 2 guys that could either play guard or tackle in Riley and Brede. So, Ohio State picking up another prospect for the offensive line. Landry Brede, just like the report said, can play all over that offensive line. Hasn't specialized yet, so we're going to bring him into our organization and figure out what is the best fit for us and also for him. You know, everyone has their own strengths and weaknesses, and it is up to good coaches to not coach well to their own strengths, but to the strengths of their players. And we know we got great coaches here at the Ohio State University. Looking at Landry's profile on 24/7 Sports, they have him listed as an offensive tackle. Don't lock that in just yet. Stands 6'5", weighing 280 pounds, coming in as a 3-star recruit, ranked as the 91st offensive tackle in the country, the 48th highest ranked player in the state of Ohio, getting an overall rating of 85. Not super high in terms of the Ohio State recruits for the class of 2026, but overall, you know, very, very highly recruited guy. I always say, when you are a college football program, one of the most important things you need to do is recruit well inside your own state. Every single state has in-state rivals. Ohio State's Big Ten, and then Ohio, they are not a Power 4 conference, or they're from the MAC, not a Power 4 conference. So a little bit easier for Ohio State to go ahead and out-recruit them, but you still got to make sure that you're getting those guys. And it is a big advantage when you've got guys growing up and watching your school, and that being the Ohio State Buckeyes. But you got to make sure you are recruiting very well inside your own state, and this is another example of the Ohio State Buckeyes doing just that. Now, Landry comes along and joins what is currently 24/7 Sports' number 4 overall rated recruiting class in the Ohio State Buckeyes, featuring 3 5-star recruits, 18 4-star recruits, and then 5 3-star recruits. Landry joining as a 3-star recruit, but you can't talk down on the guy just because he's not a 3 or a 4-star recruits. Those guys are limited. We were looking for another offensive lineman to add to this group, and very, very happy that Landry Brede decided to flip his commitment from a different school in the NC State Wolfpack to come over to the Ohio State Buckeyes, because just like the article said, we are looking for 5 offensive linemen. We only had 4. Had to add another guy to the room. And what is better than taking a guy, a homegrown talent from inside the state of Ohio? That's what we're looking for, and are very happy to have Landry Brede coming along, joining the journey to beat the team up north every single opportunity that we have. I mean, very, very difficult to find a picture of this guy. I do apologize. I mean, not the world's best picture, but he's a tough dude to get a picture of. The dude is staying under the radar, but you can't hide. When you're coming to the Ohio State University, there is nowhere to hide. You better be ready. It's big time. It's primetime games every single week. It's, either big noon kickoff or big Saturday night games, kickoff Saturday night with the Big Ten. There's nowhere to hide. Big time college football being played only at the Ohio State University, but Love to see more offensive linemen being added to this football team because currently there aren't a whole lot of things to complain about, really nothing to complain about when it comes to how this Ohio State football team has been looking so far this season. But one of the things that I'm seeing reporters talk about on the internet, got to reiterate one more time, this is absolutely nitpicking. The offensive line and the run game overall as a whole is what some reporters want to see be better and more improved from the Ohio State Buckeyes. So we do want to add as many offensive linemen that we can in either the transfer portal or in recruiting to bolster that offensive line. Not for this year, of course, but for the future. Want to always make sure that you are turning over top-end talent to make sure that this team never runs out of talent for Ryan Day, currently the head coach with the highest winning percentage in the history of college football, to go ahead and give him the best opportunity to coach this team, best opportunity to win as many football games as we can in the regular season, win those Big Ten titles, make the playoffs, and go as far in the playoffs as absolutely possible. Speaking of the playoffs, it is so hard to not get extremely excited for what is coming down the line. Most of the Ohio State schedule isn't looking too difficult to come up. Starting off with the first matchup versus Wisconsin. Wisconsin getting pretty much punked by Iowa. I think it was 37-0, which is crazy because I didn't know Iowa was allowed to score 37 points in a single football game. Now, shutting them out, that's another thing. Iowa's always going to bring a fantastic defense with them, but the offense is very surprising. If Iowa's offense is able to put up 30 points or more against this team in the Wisconsin Badgers, Ohio State is absolutely going to run them over. And now that James Franklin is gone from Penn State, we're going to have to see, now an even bigger question mark is going to be, are the players going to respond well to the new head coach, or are they going to respond poorly? If you watch their games, they came out with a ton of fire on Whiteout Night versus the Oregon Ducks, but in the next two games, UCLA, they came out really, really slow. You could tell they were feeling bad for themselves, and then after dropping that game, their second game in a row, they rolled back home for a stripe out crowd against the Northwestern Wildcats, where the whole team just quit. Like, it's so obvious. You can see that team quit. I'm not saying Jim Knowles had the best defensive scheme in the world, but those guys were not playing as hard as they could. So we have to hope that when we're seeing them on November 1st, we have to hope that the Nittany Lions are going to continue to play down and they're not going to be able to match our intensity. Of course, I know every single player in that Penn State locker room has the game at Ohio State circled on their calendar. They're going to want to play spoiler because their season's already over. They're going to see what can they do to derail other teams' seasons. Also, one more game down the line, UCLA, with this new play caller and Nico Iamaleava kind of rediscovering himself, it's going to be very interesting to see what that team looks like when Ohio State does eventually play them. But just got to take it 1 week at a time, one game at a time. Let's beat those Badgers. If you watch this long, thank you for watching. Hit that subscribe button. Go Buckeyes.